What's going on, everyone? So, we got some more news here about the memory crisis. Yeah, that's right. We got a lot to talk about here. Starting with some of Samsung's comments, and I was actually just reading a post. I should have had this up. They're blaming Samsung for the memory crisis. They're going back to them, which I don't blame them for saying that. When it comes to this insanity and AI feed, no one can escape. Here's the title, guys. This is what Samsung said. No one can escape memory shortages. Oh, yeah. And like everybody haven't figured that out. Says Samsung's co-CEO, which he can suck it, claiming that the fallout will also reach TVs and home appliances. Ugh, man, that sucks. Yeah. Guys, it's not going to start affecting, no, what these cocksuckers are doing, because Samsung sells TVs and they do home appliances. They want to monopolize and jack the price up of everything and tell everybody else in their big tech devil world, yeah, let's go ahead and do the same thing now. Let's find a way to jack up the price of TVs now. Because they're already not, a good enough deal for consumers. Let's just charge them more for that too. And home appliances. There you have it, guys. I mean, already they're trying to tell you that we're going to make an excuse to jack up the prices of TVs and home appliances, not just video game consoles, not just electronics in a sense of laptops, computers, you know what I mean? GPUs, get your own chips, RAM, SSDs, NAND, all that. They're trying to just monopolize onto everything. Yeah, Samsung is becoming as worse as Apple right now. Samsung CEO has given a glimpse of what to expect from memory shortages moving forward, stating that no consumer industry will be immune to them. Samsung's co-CEO says memory shortages would now affect TV and home appliances as well. So I got my monitor, screw you. Yeah, you know what I mean? Get monitors, get some speakers hooked up to it, plug it up into the back of the monitor. You know, yeah, man. I got myself a new why do I have to say I got a Samsung Odyssey monitor, because I didn't know these bastards were going to be doing this, but that was like a couple months ago, and I got a really good deal on it at Best Buy for Black Friday, and then they come around the corner and do this. It's like, what? I didn't pay that much for it anyways. But good Lord, my other stuff is LG, and then we got this badass rig over here. Because I always liked LG, always supported them for the longest. Like literally 90% of my stuff was always LG. I would do sometimes Sony or Samsung, just depending, but even then, So Samsung CEO, yeah, I mean, these bastards, remember you saw that dinner with him and Jensen. Yeah, don't be surprised. Memory shortages have become a mainstream issue in the tech industry, as their severity is increasing with each passing day. Just recently, we reported on how DRAM contract prices are expected to rise by more than 50% in Q1 2026. Y'all, let me tell you something else. Remember, I told you when it comes to supply too, who's going to be okay? Apple. We got a lot to talk about with them too eventually. Might have to do a separate video for that, because there's something that just popped up that's not good. Lenovo, Asus, and Dell, they're getting in a good position for the RAM cartel industry, coming out of South Korea. Which is why suppliers like Samsung and SK Hynix aren't ready to enter into long-term agreements. Yeah, I mean, unless you're those four, kind of being sarcastic there, and somewhat shorter agreements. In a statement by Samsung's co-CEO, T.M. Rowe, discussing the company's semiconductor business, he disclosed that the memory shortages are expected to put pressure on consumer offerings. Yet the semiconductor division is expected to benefit. Yeah, I mean, they're all going to make more profit. They're going to make sure there's no subsidizing, but the consumer gets screwed. We're kind of seeing this everywhere, man. I try to tell you guys about the elite society that's coming, that it's not going to get any better, that you're going to be getting into an elite society, that Microsoft wants to sell you luxury products, all that type of stuff. I've been telling people about this. It's here. As this situation is unprecedented, no company is immune to its impact, Rowe said, adding that the crisis affects not only mobile phones, but other consumer electronics. Yeah, we know phones are going to be going up too. Don't be surprised if they start giving you less RAM into phones as well, with other consumer electronics from TVs to home appliances. He did not rule out raising product prices, saying some impact was inevitable from a surge in memory chip prices. What I tell you, I told you they're going to jack up the prices of TVs in the Samsung world. And maybe other people may have to copy them. But I think you'll be okay because you can get TVs for cheap and with other brands. But just depending though, because they're trying to obviously include Copilot in there. They're trying to include AI and everything. You know, location tracking, all that stuff where you used to have that in the TV. It's like, okay, where to be more creeps with your spyware and data gathering. It says, but Samsung, the world's #1 TV maker, is working with partners on longer term strategies to minimize the impact. Routers, as you guys know about routers, when it comes to that type of stuff in TVs. I mean, you say that, but I don't know, like the rate that Samsung is going, it's like, man, when you think certain people were anti-consumer back then, you got so many now going full-blown anti-consumer in front of your face. When we see TM Rowe discussing memory shortages, it is clear that the situation has become significantly more challenging for mainstream companies, pretty much. Particularly in managing the balance between supply and demand, we do know that both SK Hynix and Samsung are struggling to increase production capacities. And even if they do in the shorter term, all the newer additions will be allocated to the AI sector, pretty much, leaving consumers in uncertainty. Rose says that shortages will also impact TVs and home appliances and cell phones, as we just saw, which is another interesting development. Here we go. As now, memory shortages are projected to last until 2027 and possibly beyond, considering how DRAM demand increases with each passing quarter. More importantly, big tech isn't giving up its pursuit of developing data centers and AI infrastructures and chasing more profit and not subsidizing, which means that as long as the AI bandwagon continues, keyword here guys, as long as the AI bandwagon continues, consumers will face supply constraints across multiple segments in the entertainment industry. To say that, TVs, consoles, handhelds, because that counts with mobiles, APU chips. You'd be surprised refrigerators getting AI is going to be going up next, right? GPUs, RAM, NAND SSDs, laptops, pre-made computers. Yeah, and whatever the hell else wants to use that. So yeah, I mean, this all sucks. So there we have it. Let's read some comments here though. So sacrifice billions in profit to just rush AI slop. Seriously, how can these people run a business when they are this stupid? I agree. It's not even that. Also, it's that they don't care and they're doing it because they're just blowing money like what people do with people's tax money, which that system shouldn't exist either. In the past 3 years, this vampire system, AI has only gotten worse. It will never be better than about a year ago before ChatGPT 5 came out. Exactly, meow, meow, meow. It was the first evidence things were getting worse, not better, pretty much. ChatGPT 6 probably won't come out anytime soon because it will just be even worse. This is a really good comment. WCCF shills for AI slop, whines when the consequences show themselves. At the core of Venezuela's defense architecture, with a network of radar supplied by the China Electronics Technology Group, including JYL-1 three-dimensional surveillance systems and the JY-27 metric wave radar, which for years have been promoted as a supported stealth aircraft hunter. Based on assessments of the swift and decisive operation, these sensors were disabled during the initial phase through intensive electronic jamming. This is funny. Leaving the integrated air defense system without early warning capability. This was compounded by a widespread electrical power outage across large areas of Venezuela. I have my stepdad who's working up there with them now for ExxonMobil, who's basically saying they do have power issues up there. So this is a very true thing, aimed at dismantling command and control capabilities. The neutralization of the radar network prevented any effective employment of longer-range air defense systems, including an S-300V and a Buck M2 complexes acquired from Russia to establish a layered defense. In parallel, suppression strikes against several Buck M2 systems, at least 2 confirmed, completely nullified their ability to respond with no functional data links and no control of the airspace. Air defense units were disconnected from Central Command and allowed U.S. forces to achieve total air superiority within minutes. China, the laughing stock. Well, you know what's so funny? I mean, I get what he's trying to say, but we're trying to solve other issues here. But this is kind of funny. These guys are down here are arguing with that. But we do see a lot of that coming in here. So, I mean, effing pricks, yeah, pretty much. 4 hours ago. Well done. Russia assets. It's now Venezuela. That's some great advertising from Luxembourg. These guys are coming in. Oh boy, we got some funny stuff down here. Antonio Banderas meme. If China manages to take memory and mass flood, the marked with it will result in these greedy Korean and Taiwanese cucks to collapse. I hope it works out for them. Okay, I kind of get why they're getting into this, but yeah, we kind of get the idea here. Interesting stuff here. This is just an excuse to raise prices when what they can. I said the same thing. A smart TV with 4 gigabytes low-end RAM is going to have its price jacked up ×4 what the RAM increase will be. Both statements are true. The memory shortages will impact all industries. Many will use that situation to jack up the prices well beyond what's necessary. I promise you that's going to happen, guys. That's what these bastards are going to be doing. So you can definitely expect that to be going on. I mean, this is what I mean, man. When you really think about the price of RAM back then, right, man, not even long ago. I mean, it was the cheapest thing. Now look at what they're doing. Like, this is insanity. This is corruption at its finest. These corporations, man, these corpses, man, these freaking dead realms, man. I'm not gonna get too much into that. Hey, man, body and name tag, that's it. All they want is their dead presidents. And to screw you over more. And make up excuses and manipulate you. So like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think about this. Once again, this sucks. Get ready for what Apple's about to do, because we're about to get a sneak peek into their contract. Why they chose those 4 for suppliers: Apple, Lenovo, Dell, and Asus. Yeah, I got another video for you guys on that. That one's going to be crazy. They don't give a damn about anybody else except them getting the RAM benefits, and it's going to get crazy. Later, y'all.